It's a long weekend this week. The markets are not open on Monday. And whilst it gives the bears a great opportunity to spread FUD, it also gives us a great opportunity to spread fact. And that's what we're going to be doing in this video. I'm going to be sharing some of my latest DD that I have found, as well as some of my personal opinions in the video, so make sure to give it a like and subscribe. But remember, as always, this is for entertainment, and it certainly is not financial advice. Do your own research and come to your own conclusions. Now, we want to talk about the price really quick. Friday was a significant day. It was looking highly likely to push below 20, and for a few moments it did. But really we closed above 20, which is fantastic. Consolidation on that 2050 level as well, which is perfect too. And whilst it isn't 21 or 22 or even 23 like we would have wanted for options, the fact it is above 20 is a good sign. And that's what we're seeing into Friday, and even into the after hours for the day, it was up by 0.8. Sorry, it was up by 8 cents, which is about 0.39%. So not too bad, but yeah, it's just a pretty flat after hours as we would usually expect with AMC anyway. So now that we're looking at that and the price section, we all know the price section is not necessarily the most important thing here with AMC, but what we do know is important is a research that we can do in the meantime. And the first thing is from user A755M, who does talk about the same issue. 2057, I assume this was a price it was on at the time, is just as fake as 72. That's dollars, of course, for both of those. The price is manipulated, and we all know it. Get ready for the MOAS. LFG, my diamond-handed apes. So, this goes back to what I have said before. The research that we have done is apparent. We know what we're into, and we know what we are expecting. The price can be manipulated, and that's completely fine. But what cannot be manipulated is the actual true data behind the scenes. You may be able to hide it, but you can't run from it, and eventually it will get found out. And this is what we are seeing from the apes right now. Day by day we are uncovering the corruption, which is brilliant, and I do love to see it. And speaking of corruption, we're going to get into this post from this user, which is called Some Guy Named Kyle F. At what point did the SEC decide that retail investors are getting effed on their watch and during a pandemic as well? It is a repost of this, which is coming from Donahue George, and he spoke about Fidelity admitting to the existence of naked shorts and wants the SEC to not require them to be reported, so that they can continue stealing from us in the dark. They do not even hide the corruption anymore at the SEC, at all of these other organisations. And as I have said before, this is what the SEC are doing. They have the authority to implement legislation and, controls, and it is their job to do so. Again, protect the retail investor and protect the market as a whole, because when this one does see the MOAS, or if this one does see the MOAS, it will have big implications across the world, really, when we think about it from an economic level. But we're going to get into that one in just a moment. Anyway, what this is a repost of an article, and if we have a look at what it says down here, securities lending market perspective, as well as potentially misleading, as it could result in inaccurate double counting of loans, which will create confusion in the marketplace. And this is, of course, focusing on the double counting part, talking about how synthetics can be out there and how the SEC are turning a blind eye to this one. Now, if I was at the SEC, which of course I am not, you have to say it's becoming harder to ignore this stuff than it is to see it. You're going to be getting atted every single day by hundreds, if not thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of retail investors from all different stocks, ranging from AMC, GME, and others, because this is not the only couple of stocks which are being manipulated, in my opinion. So people are atting you all the time, and you are choosing to do nothing. Well, I don't think it will end up well in the long term, as when this does actually hit, it will be a big thing. Now, we have seen in the past 14 or 15 days, give or take, how much we've been dropping across the whole markets. All of the markets have not been performing well, and first I want to go back to what we saw about 10 to 13 years ago, and this is talking about the crisis back in 2007 and 8. So back in that time, says user CS Hema or CS Chema, whatever it is. Anyway, the user says, back in that time, 2007, 2008, for 10 months, Griffin barred his investors from withdrawing money. barred his investors, I should say. He barred his investors from withdrawing money, attracting criticism. At the peak of the crisis, the firm was losing hundreds of millions of dollars each week. It was leveraged 7-1. Now, the reason why this is a significant thing to look back on is because 2007-2008 was a big crash. People are anticipating a crash right now, and all I can say is because we don't know what's going to happen in the future, but the markets have not been looking too cheery in the first 2 or 3 weeks of 2022. So that's all that we know, and it is possible that the markets could fall. So that would put the company, of Griffin in a similar position. What would they do then? And ironically, we've seen now in the past few months, they are trying to make it harder for their investors to withdraw their money. There is, some things that they're doing to make it a lot more difficult and a lot more time consuming. And again, this is something that they have done in the past during a terrible time for the company back in 7 and 8. And they were losing hundreds of millions of dollars each week. I need to say that one more time. Hundreds of millions of dollars each week. They were leveraged 7-1. What's going on down there now? We don't know. That's the simple thing, we just do not know. Are they losing this amount of money right now? Obviously, it's like our gains on AMC. Our gains, we don't have them until they are realized gains. Their losses, they haven't fully sustained them until they are realized losses. And the image that we have down here is of a little child standing by a burning building. I assume that is talking about the situation. And coming down here, they're talking about the way that they survived 2007 and 8 being via a bailout. And they're hoping for the same outcome this time as well. And this user says, I'm sure it's their only exit strategy at this point. Now, going back to what I was just saying about the SEC, you do have to ask yourself, what's going on? Do the SEC really not know about this, or do they know about this? Because I think it's almost impossible at this point that they have no awareness of this at all, and are they actually doing something? I've said it before in the past, guys, I'm going to say it again. If the SEC are doing an investigation or are doing something top secret, if you know about it, the organisations they are looking into will know about it as well. So it's not always in the best interest to let this info come out to the public. Now, I'm not saying that they are doing anything, because on the other hand, perhaps they are not. But I do think it really is in the best interest of the SEC to sort this mess out. And will it result in a bailout for a lot of these short hedge funds? I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. Again, it's a deal that needs to be made above our heads, above our problem level, by some of the best minds out there, and of course some of the worst minds out there, because it was also a very stupid decision to short AMC in the first place. But long story short, it's a case of, we know what AMC is worth. We know what's going on behind the scenes, and they can do whatever they like. They can kick the can down the road till next week, next month, next year. I'm not bothered. I'm still going to be here, and it doesn't bother me. I can hold for as long as I need to, if it does result in the MOAS, and I strongly personally do believe it will. And that's just my take on what we're seeing from this latest bit of data. I'll be giving you guys another update later on, so make sure to join me for that. But for now, goodbye, enjoy the rest of your day. So thank you for watching through till the end, but let me tell you about our Discord. So on your screen you will be seeing the N2S Finance Discord. Obviously it is split into multiple sections. Basically at the top we have updates from me and all that kind of good stuff. If you scroll down a bit further we have the main sections where we focus on cryptos, SPACs and other hot stocks including penny stocks, even stable growth stocks as well, and we even have a special AMC GME chat. If you scroll down you can see some research and DD from the community. We also have funny memes and you can see actual contributions from members down here. And again, if you do join us, it is completely free, link is down below. But if you do want to become a Patreon, you will actually get a pink sticker which will be displayed on your name. So your name will come up in pink as mine comes up in red down here, and that will show that you are a Patreon. But other than that, guys, you can join completely for free down below. You do not have to pay anything if you do not want to. Thank you for watching, see you soon.